Hello and welcome to a new episode of Project Purdey. As predicted, we're still waiting for things that are stuck in Paris. There's been no update on the tracking since Friday, which is just mega frustrating. However, we are getting on with other things. I'm just screwing in this seatbelt mounting point. I keep calling them seatbelts and they're harnesses really, aren't they? We're hoping that we get the rear prop shaft this week, and then we hope that we might be able to actually drive her out of the garage. So we are making progress, things are happening. Let's hope we have a great week. We have a little issue with this plug on the heater motor, which is
damage to it.
Let's look at that again. Oh right, yeah.
It's not a big deal.
Another little thing to fix. So that's the motor for the fan, right?
Yep.
So it works when you bypass it. You'll have to trust me that there's air coming out of here. And the plate that we got last week has now got the bits of vacuum hose that go up to those vents above, and a little thing that I think you can turn for foot warming purposes. So we can't put the normal heater controls in Purdey because they should go over here, and as you can see there's a roll cage in the way. So down here, these two, they're choke cables, let's be honest. So one's to, as Chris will explain, one's to...
One opens the flap
right
inside, and one operates the temperature.
Which is basically on or off.
Well, ish.
Ish. So you either have heat or you don't have heat, that's fine. Okay, so I need to label them so we know which is which, and then Marcella's in control of our heating fate. This conduit needs to go through the bulkhead to carry some of the additional switch wiring that we need. So it's got to go through this big rubber grommet thing to get to the inside. Of course, this hole isn't quite the same shape as the conduit. It wouldn't be, would it? So the bit of conduit with its first wire is through. Okay, we've got a little thing to change on the front output shaft for the transfer box. This is the flange that we've just taken off, which, as you can see, is too big to fit onto that front prop shaft. Luckily, our lovely partners at Eurospare have sent us a new flange, which hopefully is the right size. Nicely in there. That looks more like it, doesn't it?
Make sure it works.
It's all greasy where it's been in the packaging. Yum.
Difficult to tell.
Before we fit the prop shaft, we've only got the front one at the minute. I'm just going to fill that up with grease. It's times like this when we really wish we had a ramp for working under the car.
You see the socket.
And that's the front prop shaft fitted. seat's got to come out, but the supports stay in place so that we can look at how we put these harness fixings in. We're just looking at the angles for where the seat belt mounts, harness mounts, they're not seat belts, they're harnesses, where the harness mounts need to go. The problem we have is that the hook, which is right there, for the harnesses, the standard size for that, for some bizarre reason, is 7/16, not a metric fitting, that's the standard regulation size. But we only have a 10mm drill bit, so it won't go through the hole. Just to explain how these rings work with the harness fittings. So this is the bit that we're trying to screw through the seat box, and then that literally clips on to the end of the harness fitting. So what Chris has found in his little stock of random things is a 7/16 UNF tap. So the idea is that we try and put a thread all the way through, see if it works like that. So this is the first one in, just another 5 to go. Next we're looking at taking the battery cable through the bulkhead to the battery, which of course is now in the back. We get a call to say that our metal is ready, so we pop up to the metalworking shop, which is quite local, to pick up the stuff. The bit of metal that we picked up that has to fit in here, we made a stupid assumption that everything was central, and of course it isn't. That's kind of ish the centre from there, but when you get down here, this is well off centre, so we've got to cut a little slot out of the metal form that we got to make the dashboard to actually make it all fit together. So we're using the riv nuts in here again.
Okay, yeah,
Is that better?
yeah, much better. That's good. Cool.
Okay, so that's where the instrument panel's going to go. We just have to decide where all the switches and things fit on it now. Bit of a misty morning this morning. We've got a little visitor. We've got Jonathan here. Excitingly, we also get a parcel, and Chris turns up to inspect Purdey as he's not seen her for a while. So here we have a box, and in the box we've got a prop shaft. So this is what we've been waiting for. It actually says for Helen on it, but it's not really for me, it's for Purdey. For the first time on this project, we've got all the technical team together in the workshop at the same time. We normally get Jonathan on a call and we go to the garage for Chris.
Jet. It may be further over, I can't remember. And what's that? Oh, it's AlliSport, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely. If you're in a major accident, that's still going to save your life.
Sort of what it's.
Everywhere nearly, isn't it? That's doubled down there, that's for sure. They won't be too fussy about.
Chris has had a bit of rallycross experience himself, so he has some knowledge to impart about dashboard things and harnesses, which is always useful.
Might not need them. It's like anything, it might not need a bar, but if it does, you'd probably be best off having a bar than not having one.
We also got wiper arms from eurospare, so we'll fit those next.
And that is the beginning and end of my modelling career. We'll just go whir, whir, whir.
That sounds like
And
a
then
plan.
when we've got some power to it and we know that it's doing what it's supposed to be doing.
There's more battery cable that needs feeding around the car, so that involves more holes, more grommets and a load more conduit.
By the way it fits them.
Well, P-clips can be self-clappered into this.
Okay.
This.
Yep.
If you've got P-clips.
We have got some P-clips.
We had P-clips for the
you'll
other.
need two. You'll need one that end and one that end.
Okay.
It can be cable tied to the. You can't drill holes in this, so it can be cable tied to that.
We can drill holes in this, but they get upset about it.
Yeah, we don't want them to be upset about it, do we?
What, drill holes in the roll cage?
Yeah.
No.
And then we need to turn it that way. Now I've got to try and wedge this in here because it's been tightened up, so it's all been splayed now.
We can cut it a bit if that helps.
We should have plenty of length, shouldn't we?
Yeah, we're well over length. Yeah. Okay. Stand by.
I can hear the fuel pump whirring.
Right, we're definitely not in gear because we have got a prop shaft on now.
Yeah.
Will be the wrong way round.
Yeah, I'll do. But well, they're close.
Well, it's a little bit high, but it's not too bad, is it?
Yeah, but when the windscreen's wet, they will actually park back down more or less where.
Yeah, that just misses.
They need directional input.
Yeah, they do. But Chris said, oh, it's fine because you'll only use them when you're driving and then they'll hit the screen because you're moving forward.
Well, this is true, but they still need to be pointed over here rather than up the middle.
Yes, they do. While I've been dealing with some emails, the rear prop shaft has been fitted. Yeah, that didn't go quite so well. So we've decided that what we need is more earth lead to make sure that we get good connections everywhere. And then hopefully she'll start with no issues. And then that needs connecting directly to the chassis. What are they called?
I can't remember exactly what they're called.
Okay.
Okay, that's done up quite tight.
So this is the moment of truth, and if she starts, we'll take her out of the garage. Good. She's up at a bit of a crazy angle just so we can get the clutch bled again because it's not quite clearing properly.
So, yeah. We can actually get a spanner up there.
And then the brakes need bleeding as well because the pedal was going all the way down before anything happened, which is not ideal. Yeah, hold him. Next, we thought we'd fit the bonnet. My side's definitely in.
Press it down a bit.
Yeah, that felt like it clicked. Okay.
You got?
Yeah, I need to get rid of the cardboard and the torch. We've also got to work out where the torch.
Got. Yep.
We're trying to fit the bonnet. We've not had the bonnet on before with this on, and we have a slight problem. Because this isn't a TD5 bonnet, this is Purdey's original bonnet, this fouls on here. So we have to come up with a solution. But first of all, it's a new thing in the series of items you never thought you'd see on a Land Rover build. And that is Avon pink lipstick. So what I'm going to do, because I can't think of anything else that I've got that will do the job, is put lipstick round here. Like so. And then hopefully when we pull the bonnet down, it'll leave a mark and we can see where it's touching. And then, well, I don't know what happens after that actually. I think we probably might have to try and drop the tank down. And it's even worse when you've got the top on. So anyway, that's today's problem. Items you never thought you'd see on a Land Rover build. So we tried.
That's the front end.
Yeah, I think so, because that's like where it goes round there, isn't it? So that's where it's touching, just that point. That's the only place that the pink lipsticks come onto. But that's lower than it would be if the cap was on, isn't it? So we think what we need to do is actually move this mounting down the bulkhead so that the whole thing drops down to give us a bit more clearance. So to be able to move this, to sort the problem out, we have to take the water out. Well, when I say water, it's actually antifreeze, and we just filled it up. It's like a pink shower, isn't it? It's not like a golden shower. Like it's peeing now. Do you think it'll, oh, well it was.
Okay.
I get paper to mop that up. I wanted to show you this rather wonderful sculpture that I received this week. This was made for me by Denise. She's an artist and she was inspired by Purdey and myself on the way to Dakar. So this is really quite cool. Here we are with our map, the sign to Dakar. We've got some luggage. And I think I might be lost. I'm not sure. But Purdey's there with her canvas back and all of her little rusty bits. And she's got fab googly eyes, which I kind of almost want to put on the real Purdey. Isn't she wonderful? Her name on the front. We've got a recovery rope. It's absolutely brilliant. Thank you, Denise. The AlliSport tank is now temporarily out, which means that we can actually get the bonnet shut, which was the object of putting the bonnet on, so that we made sure that it shut, and then we could put the face on. Time for Purdey's face to go on, hopefully permanently now, if we can get it in. Loving the original sticker. It was so important to keep that. The header tank has now been resighted. It's just been dropped down a bit, which means that it clears the bonnet, and where it was touching the bonnet before is where you can see that bit of tape on the bonnet. So we're now going to refill it and make sure it was all good. So it's been quite a week. Purdey's obviously been out. You see me driving her. She felt really like she's going to be a quick car, but obviously on that test run we couldn't test her fully because the brakes were a bit dodgy. Not quite sure how they are yet. The clutch needed a bit of attention, which hopefully we've sorted out, and it was just a first run, and we need to get some more miles on her. That doesn't mean to say we're finished though. We've got a lot of stuff still to do. And we've got kind of two job lists now, a Santana job list and a Dakar job list. She also has to have a CT, control technique, which is an MOT equivalent, which means that we have to focus a little bit onto this panel, which is going to have a lot of switches and things in that we'll need to have, like hazard switch, fog light switch. Those are important for that test. We've also got this to put in. This is my idea for a cubby box. And I've picked this because it's kind of squishy, so it's not going to be something that we're going to hit our elbows and stuff on, but it's also waterproof, so it should be sandproof too. So that's that. We've got to also keep in mind all the things we need for Dakar, like the Iritrack, so I've made little boxes so we can see where they go. So there's a lot of stuff to do, and the job list is still quite long. So while we're super buoyed up by this week, and thanks so much for the help that we've had this week as well, from Jonathan, from the visit from Chris, it's really pushed us forward. We are still on a schedule. So we appreciate your support as well by joining us on the video. Please give us a big thumbs up if you've enjoyed the video, and if you haven't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button so you stick with us for the rest of the journey. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next time.